Good morning, evening, or night. My name is Aqua, and welcome to my channel. Today, I'm doing a master's copy of Maruja Mallo's La Mujer con Cabria. La Mujer con Cabria basically translates to the woman with a goat. Sounds pretty straightforward, right? I discovered Maruja Mallo's work like 3 weeks ago, and I've just been enthralled. She's just an amazing artist and just an amazing person. So, yeah, I sincerely encourage you guys to paint along with me. I will have the image down below in the description. Whatever you have, whether it's watercolor, oil, gouache, whatever, paint along with me. She uses oil paints, but I'm using watercolor. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, we're about to do watercolors. I don't have that much experience with watercolors. I used to use watercolors as a kid. And yeah, these are the ones I'm using. Sorry if you can't see it, I put water on them. They are the koi watercolors. I've seen a lot of art YouTubers use them, and I thought it was a great, cheap way to start and get back into watercolors. So I'm going to do a light wash on the skin color, or on the face rather, and yeah, I'm going to try to figure out what colors will work with what. And also I have water in here. I'm going to do a wet and wet technique. Since I'm creating an environment of relatability and transparency on this channel, I have to admit this is not my first time creating this master's copy. What? Yeah, like 3 weeks ago, I bought a 48 pack of Winsor & Newton alcohol markers, and I wanted to use them for this piece because I love their vibrancy. It was one of the first times I used alcohol markers besides the few times I used Copic markers as a kid. So I was kind of learning how to use these markers while showing you guys how to do this drawing. It was kind of a mess. I'm not sure if I'm using the right sketchbook, but we'll find out if it can take all this water. So I sincerely encourage you all to paint along with me. The reference painting will be down below in the description, as well as other information for those who want to know more about Maruja Mallo. Okay, now I'm going to add, since the paper is still wet, I'm going to add a little bit of blush. Start off with that blush. It looks kind of like a peachy color, so I'll try to recreate that. One of the things I plan on getting really good at is color theory. I'm just so used to using graphite all the time that I'm only like focused on the values. I don't really know, like I don't know how to make like certain colors. So like what color could I mix to create like that shade of blue? So that is something hopefully I can get good at. Okay, I'm gonna try to start this cloak. And I will do a wash of the sort of highlight color. Then I'll come back later with the darks. I love how forgiving watercolor is. And when you feel like the paint is going down where you don't want it to be, you can just dab it off. It's like, nope. Please excuse the fact that my head keeps popping into the frame. I was just so focused on this painting, I was just completely oblivious to whether I was blocking your view or not. Because one of the issues I have with watercolor is kind of finding the perfect color. And then you feel like you colored everything, and you go back and then you're like, oop, I missed that. I'm adding a very thin layer of the blue shade, and I'm being very careful because I feel like most of the mistakes happen in the beginning of a painting. Also, the legs and feet are of a cooler tone and are much redder than the top part of her body. It may look super red right now, but don't worry, I'm gonna kind of tone it down with a little bit of yellow, the same yellow that is in the top part of her body. Okay, so let me put you guys on to Maruja. Maruja's birth name is Ana Maria Gomez Gonzalez, and she's a fellow Capricorn and a renowned Spanish surrealist painter. Her family saw her skills and encouraged her to pursue art. She was not afraid to address controversial topics in her art. When the Spanish Civil War erupted in the late 1930s, she fled to Argentina and developed more as an artist, combining mathematics and fine art and creating more and more abstracted and surrealist work later on in her career. In a biography by Shirley McGinney, the author notes that the era of political change in which Mallo grew up also inspired her artwork. Her goal was to present women as active members of society and not just as muses of sexuality, beauty, and objects. Mallo also began using gender references in her paintings as she painted androgynous figures and large mythical females, like this painting, that signaled her freedom from the male-dominated artistic world of Madrid. So getting back to this painting, I realized a little too late in the painting that my outline did not fully capture how dynamic her pose was. I should have drawn her with a more crouched and more C-shaped, but later I tried to remediate these mistakes by reshaping her neck a bit. "90% of this painting was done with a sample brush that comes with the Koi watercolors, and I must say it worked great. I'm not sure the difference is between cheap and expensive brushes, despite their durability, but I just bought some cheap, thin watercolor brushes that I will use for the rest of the video to apply greater detail. Please excuse the shifts in brightness of this video. In the beginning I was using a hydroponic light, you know, the light for plants, and I decided some more in this video that it was bright enough, so I started not using a light, so that's why. Now it's time to add this bird, and I realized I drew this bird too low down on this paper in comparison to everything else. And I did this to kind of fit everything within the borders. But I've already started to paint and it's too late now. The whole scenery is fantastical. There's what appears to be glaciers, a castle, a high-rise building, and a majestic bird that appears to be following the woman with the goat. I don't know if she was labeled as this, but I would definitely classify her as like one of the artists that played into magical realism. Unfortunately, there's not a lot said about La Mujer con Cabria, or it could be that that knowledge is inaccessible to me because of my beginner Castilian Spanish comprehension. I don't know. Luckily, I did find an essay about this painting. It's in Spanish and it's in the description down below. It revealed to me the cultural undertones that I didn't pick up on before. It explains a dichotomy between the two women. The woman with the goat is a working woman whose physical presence occupies the street. Within nature, there's a sense of joy and lightness, whereas indoors, there's the traditional woman in the darkness. While I'm not certain that this was Maruja's real intent of the painting, it sure does make sense. When she fled to Argentina and left her art community behind in Madrid, she was also leaving behind the male-dominated machismo culture that often barred women from the arts, or discredited them. Just for some context, Pablo Picasso was her peer and was a huge misogynist. So getting back to this painting, I wish I had spent more time mapping out this piece. I noticed that when I start a new painting or drawing, I'm eager to start the base sketch done, and in my haste, I miss certain things that are kind of difficult to change later, like the distance between the eyes and the pose of the muse. Fuck. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. It's okay, It's okay. It's okay. It's like what I keep trying to tell myself that. I'm laughing, but like, this really sucks. I tried to fix it off scene, but I don't know. I guess I had to add more layers. It's a pretty dark color, so it's really hard to dab it off. So we'll see. I have to be really delicate because the paper is already starting to ball up and kind of crumble in the weight of all the water. So now I'm painting the skirt. I feel like I'm really making the skirt worse. I'm adding in this greenish color to kind of play out on the pure green undertones or highlights of this skirt, and adding shadows too. I know I just said I'm gonna be delicate with the skin, but I think I'm just gonna try to like erase the paint I added over this. Yeah, hopefully it turns out well. I don't know how many times I've said this in this video. It's like, hopefully it turns out well. I kind of made the eyes like too far apart the first time around, so maybe this is like the perfect opportunity to remediate that. I feel like it's not working as well for the neck, but at the very least, it is blending the paint a little bit more than it was before. So while the skin kind of dries up, I am going to play around with the skirt a little bit and make it back to its light color. At first, when I saw this painting, I felt like, oh, this is definitely Latin American art. I know she's Spanish, but she also like moved to Latin America, so I thought, oh, like her art got influenced by her environment. As I was reading further, I just discovered that she painted this in the Canary Islands, which is an island off the coast of continental Africa. So that's it. That's the end of my video. I think it came out pretty well considering I haven't painted in like forever. And let me know how yours went, if you ended up using the subject or you ended up doing something different. So you guys know the deal. Like, subscribe, and until next time, bye-bye.